What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. Yeah, that's right. We're doing a live stream today. This is an awkward thing to do because I'm not used to doing live streams on this channel. They're usually on the gaming channel. But I figured with WrestleMania this weekend, there's so much stuff going on, not just with WWE, but around WWE. And I wanted to talk about a lot of it today. So we're going to catch up with a lot of stuff. I'm not going to do a blow by blow of everything. I'm going to try to keep this kind of short because I do know that we do have WrestleMania coming up pretty soon. It's going to be starting. But again, if you guys are new to my channel, definitely hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. And be sure to let other people know about this video if you talk about wrestling online. But let's talk about the Hall of Fame very quickly. The Hall of Fame was it was emotional as it usually is. Of course, we have Vinnie Mac here and The Undertaker. It was the big swan song for The Undertaker. Not really. He made sure that at the end of his speech too, he goes, "Never say never," and then he walks off. Him and Vince. If you saw The Undertaker's documentary, I believe it was last year that they were running on the network or Peacock, you really got to see how in depth the relationship between Vince McMahon and The Undertaker actually is. It's Undertaker was there with him through a whole lot of stuff, and a lot of people, I think legitimately, if you looked at it and said that if Undertaker had left for WCW, especially at the time, 97, then there probably wouldn't be a WWE today. They probably would have gone out of business. Like, Austin and Triple H and DX and all that, The Rock and all that stuff helped rebuild the WWF at the time back to prominence. But I would really say, think about it. In 97, if Taker had, all right, so Brett leaves, Shawn's going to be injured and he's going to be out. Diesel and Razor were already over in WCW. If Taker had left, that would have been bad. Taker was the only bridge, really, actually, yeah, he was the only bridge from the new generation to the Attitude Era, because the four other main event guys were either hurt or had gone off to WCW. So a lot of respect for Taker. Of course, the speech was pretty cool. I like all the different jackets and him putting on the jackets and trying them on and stuff. But Taker's Taker, and we are just happy to have had him. Happy to see him go through his transitions over the years. He's one of a kind, of course. There's never going to be another Taker. There never will be. Never can't be, never will be, never will be another Taker. I think I got that out. The Steiner brothers, which I'm actually kind of surprised by that they were even included on this, but the Steiners were there, and that was pretty cool to see Rick and Scott. Given the fact that they're, another Steiner or a Breaker, I guess we call it. A Breaker was headlining NXT this weekend. But that coincided. It was cool to see them out there doing their thing, and Papa Pump still, he don't look all that different. A little bit more gray. It's not blonde. It's gray now. Rick is they're still doing the dog barks. I think that was all pretty cool and everything else. We got to get to Ring of Honor in a minute too. There was the Chad Gaspard. I think he got the Warrior Award. That was heartbreaking because that whole thing came out of nowhere. Vader, one of my somebody who I've had interactions with in the past, the late great Leon White, his son, his family there to induct him into the Hall of Fame. That was pretty cool too. So the Hall of Fame was classy this year, classier than it has been. Of course, everybody saw. You probably, I don't know, maybe you haven't seen it, but there was a video out of Triple H coming out, and that was pretty heart-wrenching too, because as we all know, Triple H just revealed what was really going on with him, and that he was out, that he was hurt, and with that cardiac event, and he got a rousing ovation from a lot of the fans in attendance. So I think that was probably, and that was not part of the whole thing, but obviously Hunter being there with the crew, and obviously it was a great moment for the fans and a great moment for the staff to see him back after the really sad and almost near tragic condition and heart condition that he had earlier on. But we'll look at that. We'll look at some of these other things here. As you can see, there's a bunch of other stuff we can talk about here. There's Vader, Hall of Fame, the Warrior Award. Let's talk about NXT here. NXT Stand and Deliver. Standing and Delivering. So, I blazed through this show. It was only a little under 2.5 hours, but it was. I do not watch NXT that much anymore since it's become 2.0. It just is not my cup of tea. But I would say that it was an okay show for what it was. Again, it's not for me. It's not the NXT that I enjoyed from in the mid 2010s, but I still say they still have some decent matches on the show. There's some interesting new characters that I didn't know about that I got to see and learn about. New champions, that's going to be kind of the theme of the weekend for a lot of these shows, though. There's going to be a lot of new champions and a lot of new people coming around. Of course, Tommaso Ciampa here paying homage to Triple H before what everybody can pretty much tell is Ciampa's last match in NXT. And we all kind of knew that going in. The fans knew it going in. A lot of the rumors report that Triple H went there specifically to wish to see Ciampa off, as he's apparently leaving NXT, probably leaving the company. I'm not 100% sure about the rumors. I never try to go 100% rumors until I see stuff happen. Kind of like AJ Styles in that manner. But I didn't even know the guy he was wrestling. This is how much I've not kept up with NXT. But it was pretty cool. It was a cool send-off. LA Knight and Walters, he's not Walter anymore. He's Gunther. Not a Nazi, but Gunther. That was actually, I enjoyed that match probably more than I enjoyed some of the other stuff, surprisingly enough, because those were two veterans working against each other, and it kind of showed on the show, and it kind of showed in the match. And of course, the main event, Braun Breaker challenging Dolph Ziggler for the NXT Championship after Ziggler kind of stole it. And we see Ziggles. What's up, Alejandro? Good to see you again. Good to see Ziggles back and Ziggles doing his Ziggler thing. I call him Ziggles. So the crazy thing about Dolph Ziggler is that he probably should have been in NXT a long time ago. A lot of us wanted to see him in NXT. We didn't get to see him in NXT until now, which is kind of weird. But, you know, I think he plays a good role as being the main roster star coming down to mess with the little peons in NXT. But, you know, it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. Let's see. What else do we have going on this weekend as we catch up with everything? So there's a lot of that. There's a party going on outside. So we also had, what else do we have here? Oh, yes, Ring of Honor, the Supercard of Honor. That was a that was a fun show. I got to watch it this morning because I was busy last night and I missed all of this stuff. So I've spent the last 6 hours watching all of this stuff. Pretty crazy. But Brian Cage, as you can see on the screen, he was one of many big surprises at the Ring of Honor show last night. Of course, Tony Khan purchased Ring of Honor a while ago, made that public a while ago, and this was the first Ring of Honor show since they shut down. They had already booked the show. It was already set into motion, or they booked the venue. The show wasn't quite booked. I think that Deanna girl from, she's on a lot of the British YouTubers channels a lot. She's got her own channel. She didn't even know if she was still booked for the show until like a couple days ago. So that was pretty funny. But Tully Blanchard, we now know why he was let go by FTR very quickly. It's to come over here to Ring of Honor and to start Tully Blanchard Enterprises, which that's a deep cut for old school Crockett fans, because before Tully Blanchard was in the Horsemen, he had his own Tully Blanchard Enterprises in the old Crockett NWA, so it's kind of funny he's bringing it back. But this time he's heading up with Brian Cage. He'll get a couple more members throughout the night. There is a heavy amount of AEW in this show as far as talent. Wheeler Yuta winning Wheeler Yuta winning a championship. FTR winning the championship. So I was wondering if a lot of Ring of Honor fans would be like, oh, it's too much AEW, but I think they walked a nice balance between it having better production quality than previous Ring of Honor shows. What's up, Belfair? And also having some of that old Ring of Honor feel. It was still an old Ring of Honor set. Code of Honor and all that stuff was in there. But of course, we can't talk about this without mentioning the giant elephant in the room with this whole show, which is, well, besides Minoru Suzuki winning the Ring of Honor Television Championship, which was pretty cool. So Ring of Honor is being taken over by New Japan and AEW pretty much. That's what's going on. But I think the big thing that everybody wanted to really talk about was the whole match, the Tag Team Championship match. You had the Briscoes taking on FTR. That's the one everybody wanted to see. That's the one I was waiting for the longest time. And we got to see it. It was a lot of fun. We're going to just zoom in on Suzuki a lot. This guy back, what is wrong with this dude back here? What is this guy's problem? He does not look happy to be there. Anyway, so, but we got that. We got Suzuki. We got Suzuki-san. He's the TV champion. And then we have the advent, the wonderful, wonderful shot of, I should probably go back to that, of the Briscoes and FTR, which I thought I put in here, but it's not in here. But anyway, so the Briscoes and FTR had probably one of the best matches of the year. It's probably going to wind up being a match of the year contender, absolutely, for the Ring of Honor tag titles. Again, a little AEW flavor here. Not only did FTR win, but the Young Bucks came in afterwards and then worked an angle for this Wednesday on Dynamite. So the rematch between the Young Bucks and FTR this Wednesday on Dynamite is now not only going to be for the Triple A or Triple A Tag Team Championships, but it's also going to now be for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. So that was cool. And of course, at the end of the show, we had Jay Lethal getting involved afterwards with an aggression match with Bandito, which that was a very good slow burn match, by the way. If you want to see a very good slow burn, there's two different styles of matches. There's the FTR and Briscoes match, which was a lot of craziness. And then the slow burn to a raging fire that was Bandito and Jonathan Gresham. So Gresham wins, and Jay Lethal comes in the ring. He starts getting on him. Sanjay's getting involved with it. And then, of course, what everybody was waiting for, Samoa Joe makes his return to Ring of Honor, gets in Jay Lethal's face, and not very happy with Jay Lethal, very angry with Jay Lethal, and we go off the air with that. The post-media scrum from Tony Khan kind of revealed some really interesting things about where they are going with Ring of Honor. First off, there's still no official TV deal. He's still planning on booking everything, but he's not quite sure where everything's going to fit with Ring of Honor. So I think it's probably not going to be till summertime that we really see what's going on with how this new relaunched Ring of Honor is going to work. Is it going to be a monthly show? Are they going to be on syndication on Sinclair? Is it going to be a YouTube show? Are they going to utilize the Honor Club? There's so many possibilities they can do with it. And then, of course, we're not going to find out anything until well after it's already established. But if that show from Friday night is any indication, Ring of Honor is probably in good hands. There was enough mix of it being old school Ring of Honor, but also having this kind of new school kind of feel to it. The modern wrestling, finally some good lighting in Ring of Honor, which is something I've been complaining about for years with the Ring of Honor shows, that their lighting was terrible. But yeah, plenty of stuff going on this weekend. I just wanted to catch up on here and talk about some of the stuff because WrestleMania is starting. I am watching WrestleMania. I will be doing a full video review of WrestleMania afterwards, but there was so much that has already happened. I didn't want to wait till later to do this video, at least to catch up with what's going on and get my thoughts on it. So that's going to be it. I'm going to answer Alejandro Cruz, who says, "What's up, Rassslin? Who would you like to see in the Hall of Fame next year?" Oh, I can't even keep track of who's in it and who's not in it. And that doesn't really matter to me too much. The Hall of Fame is kind of just a nice celebration of who's in there. It's not. I'm not chanting "you deserve it" to anybody, because it's all timing and political and whether or not it goes with the storyline. Except for the Warrior Award is the only one that I really think is a really cool award because it's a posthumous award. which I think is kind of nice. The rest of it is all like, does it fit the storylines we're doing? You know, is your son headlining one of our shows? So let's finally put the Steiners in there. The only person I would love to see in there that isn't in there is Owen Hart, but that's all. We know why that's not happening anytime soon. Who else could I think should be in the Hall of Fame that's not in the Hall of Fame for next year? Where are they having it next year? Austin, Texas. Well, you know, I don't know. There's so many wrestlers that deserve to be in there. I'm gonna say off the top of my head, let me pick somebody from the '90s. Boy, that's hard, man. Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett's already in the Hall of Fame. Kane's already in the Hall of Fame. X-Pac's in the Hall of Fame. I think most of the people I can think of are actually already in the Hall of Fame. I think that's kind of the interesting thing about it. They're going to run out of people. They might run out of people eventually. Mark Henry, Hall of Fame. I don't know. The Godfather, is the Godfather in the Hall of Fame? I think he is in the Hall of Fame. I can't keep track. There's so many people in it, and there's no like sense to it. It's so random. I don't know. Joe versus MJF, Joe versus Omega, Joe versus Punk, Joe versus Heyman. The matches are endless. Joe versus Keith Lee, too. I didn't even mention Rampage on Friday night. Rampage was actually a better Rampage than it usually is. Not that Rampage was a bad show, but it felt like a lot more energy on that show. And I think it was mainly because of the main event was involving Team Taz. So you had Keith Lee taking on Powerhouse Hobbs from the Team Taz, and I enjoyed that. That was a big man match. That was again another answer to all the vanilla midget thing. You don't hear people talking about AEW having vanilla midgets anymore, because now we've got so now you got Keith Lee and you got Powerhouse Hobbs and you got all of these other guys coming in. This is the guy I want to see. I want to see Murder Grandpa against Jonathan Gresham. I want to see Murder Grandpa against a lot of guys in there. And I want to see this Forbidden Door finally swing towards New Japan. I know there's a lot of talk about travel restrictions being lifted in Japan. Some other companies are bringing in people from outside. So, I mean, we're kind of, the Forbidden Door's got to swing the other way, guys. So, you know, New Japan could use it. They could have used it in the New Japan Cup. I have a feeling that if things continue to go well the way they are, that by the G1 we'll probably have at least some AEW guys in there, and some Ring of Honor guy. Well, same thing now, and maybe some Impact people going over there. They got to get Jay White's got to go over there at some point in time and deal with that whole thing with Bullet Club. But that's for next weekend's video, as I will be reviewing the what is it called, Hyper Attack this year, and it's not Sakura Genesis anymore. It's Hyper Attack this year. I will be reviewing that next weekend. But nice to see everybody checking out everything here. Demetrius is in here. Terry Hall, good to see you guys. Again, I'm just stopping in just to give my thoughts on all this stuff so I can get it on record, because WrestleMania is very long and I got other stuff to do tonight, so I'm gonna have to come back and watch more of it later. WrestleMania weekend is so hard. These long shows and all just like 5 shows this weekend. It's insane. But thank you guys for checking this out. I will be back on probably with the WrestleMania Night 1 review tomorrow morning, depending on when I can get back home and finish watching WrestleMania, because I think I got enough time to watch the first half of it, and then I got to come back and watch the other half. I got a lot to say about it too. I didn't really pay attention to the card, but I looked at the WrestleMania card this morning. There are 4, they're technically 4, in my opinion, 4 celebrity matches. I mean, Jake Paul's in a match. You got Johnny Knoxville's in another match. Pat McAfee's in another match. I kind of consider Ronda she still doesn't feel like she's part of the WWE. She still feels like she's WWE who's in it, even though she did wrestle there for a year on the road. It still feels like she's not quite, she's more MMA UFC than she is a WWE superstar. Oh, sorry, a WWE superstar, because that just sounds so much better than pro wrestler. Would you rather be a pro wrestler or a WWE superstar? But that McAfee video, I got to talk about that at some point in time too. But yeah, it's just weird. And then Austin and Kevin Owens, that's not even a match. It's somebody who hasn't wrestled for 19 years. The current roster, all of their WrestleMania matches happened on Raw and SmackDown this week. I did see Ricochet's match, and that was actually pretty cool when he performed in that match. But it's like, man, the IC Championship. Remember when that used to be a thing? I don't know. I'm going to try not to bitch about it too much because you guys who've been following me for a while know my new attitude about WWE shows is that I am not going to go watch a WWE show expecting it to be a wrestling show. I'm going to expect it to be a sports entertainment show. So I am not watching tonight, and I found that it makes it better to watch it for me, who's a pro wrestling fan, and not a big fan of sports entertainment. That if I go into it thinking, okay, this is like, I like horror movies, but I'm not going to go into a Pixar movie expecting it to be a horror movie. So I'm not going to go into a WWE show expecting it to be a pro wrestling show. I'm going to go into a WWE show and look at it not for characters, not for consistent storylines, and not for in-ring action. I'm going to look at it for the spectacle of it and the moments, the big moments that are going to happen. So that's what I'm going to grade WrestleMania on. I'm trying to make it fair. I'm going to grade it on what it is and not what I would rather it be and what it used to be. I'm going to grade them for what they do now and see whether or not they do it well. Even though it's not my cup of tea, there are things you can enjoy out of a WWE show if you are more of a pro wrestling fan than a sports entertainment fan. So I'm going to try that tonight and see how that goes. But thank you guys for checking out everything. I will see you guys later today. Enjoy WrestleMania if you're watching it. If you're not, hopefully I can review it for you and you guys will enjoy the review later tonight or tomorrow morning. Until then, of course, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell. And I will see you guys here for more reviews on the Pro Wrestling Weekend, the biggest pro wrestling weekend of the year in the States. With way too much stuff but we got Murder Grandpa is the TV champion, so that's all we need. All right, guys.